Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, you're living your life, alhamdulillah. But how is your life? You work, some of you school, some of you the family, you go home, you sleep, and then you just repeat the next day. But we have a very bad epidemic here in the United States, here in New Jersey, here in Bergen County. If I said a few words to you, what comes to your mind? If I said the word terrorist, if I said the word bombing, if I said the word 9/11, immediately Islam, Muslims, Islam, Muslims. Why is that the case? We have to find a solution for this. Maybe it's a problem with our lives. Maybe it's a problem with their lives, society around us. Maybe it's a conspiracy theory, Some people tell you that it's an agenda, that there's politics involved, that they have a war against Islam. So we blame everyone else. But what we need to do is bring those people that are learned amongst us and have them come up with a solution. Some of us might say, let's do research. Some of us, let's say, let's do some tests, some surveys. But I ask you through all of this, did anybody ever once mention that the solution, or come to your mind that the solution is probably in Al-Quran Al-Kareem? Did anybody think that once? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Kahf, He says, وَلَقَدْ صَرَّفْنَا فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لِلنَّاسِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ أَكْثَرَ شَيْءٍ جَدَلًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Kahf that in this Quran, we've given the example and the solution for everything. Everything is in the Quran. But what's the problem with mankind? That they want to be quarrelsome, that they want to be very argumentative. You know, the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he knew this was going to come about his ummah. He even told the Sahaba that there's going to come a time where the people, they'll be referring to the mathnat. The Sahaba, they were confused by that. They said, Ya Rasulullah, what is that? He said they're going to be referring to books that are going to be authored by men that are not the Quran. And today, if we need any solution at all, I don't know anybody who first opens the Quran. I don't know. And all of these problems around us, these bad connotations that you think of when you come and you say the word bombing, the word terrorist, it must be something we're doing wrong. And so I found in the Quran, amazing, of course you'll find everything in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He says, فَقُصَصِ الْقَصَصَ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, so relate the stories, perhaps they may reflect. Maybe we're living our life wrong. And maybe in this one story, in Surah Yasin, in verse 20 to 27, we will see if we are living the life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has recommended for us. I have found this story to pertain to us living in America almost 100%. 100%. And let us see of these people, the story of the dwellers, of the people of the town who was sent to them messengers, and how we can reflect upon that. In verse 20, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَى قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اتَّبِعُوا الْمُرْسَلِينَ. And there came a man running from the farthest part of town. He said, O my people, obey the messengers. So messengers were sent to a people of the town. Arisala, Mursaleen. We have the message. I believe we have the message, right? We have it complete. And they were sent to a people of the town. And Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he said about these people, they concocted a plan. They formed a plan to kill the Anbiya, to kill the Mursaleen that came to them. And this man, Rajulun Yas'a min Aqsa al-Madina, he came running Yas'a, running with a full speed from the farthest part of town to what? To tell his people, to warn his kuffar people, his non-believing people, to follow what these messengers have came with. Now about this man, the name is not so important, but Habib bin Najjar is his name, as Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he said. Habib bin Najjar, no big deal, but we'll refer to him as Habib. And about this man Habib, Ibn Abbas, he said he was upon the fitrah. He had tawheed in him. He knew that there was one Allah. He knew not to make shirk. He knew not to i'si Allah. He knew not to make sins against Allah. He knew this type that everybody is born with, as the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said. But he said he also had a few conditions on him. He had a sickly disease, leprosy. He had a disease. He was also a merchant, tajir. He used to sell silk and ropes and whatever. And he used to give 50% of his wealth in charity. This man, Habib bin Najjar. Why do you think that's so important that I'm mentioning? Because us living in America, we have so much busy lives. Our schedules are packed. Some people are living 10 minutes at a day. Look at all of the conditions we have. We're barely spending time with our family, let alone doing our da'wah. Let alone doing our da'wah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Rajulan. Men are doing da'wah. So if we're not doing da'wah, what are we? You know what we are. Not men. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said Rajula. He didn't mention his name specifically to tell us if you want to be a man, you do da'wah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned men in two other areas in the Quran. Those who are frequently inside the masjid, and those who do jihad, harbun sabilillah, harbun for the sake of Allah, that they go to war for Allah's sake, meaning you're defending those who are oppressed, etc. These are the three men mentioned in the Quran. Which one do we fall under? But then the question is, what excuse do we have? You have no excuse. This man, Habib bin Najjar, he's disabled. He has a disease. So some of us who are old, maybe we also have some disabilities amongst us. Alhamdulillah. But what excuse do you have? Allah told you he already had this. And then some people might say, yeah, I'm too busy. I'm making ends meet. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But he was not only working, he was giving 50% of his mal in sadaqah. Which one of us giving 50% of our mal in sadaqah? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, you have no excuse. So this guy Habib, you can tell another thing about him. He loved his people, right? Because he said, Ya qawmi, Ya qawmi, my people. But who's your people? We don't raise our children to let them know that the citizens in Hackensack is your people. The citizens in Bergen County are your people. The citizens in New Jersey are your people. We tell them, listen, your people is back home, overseas, in Egypt, in Palestine, in Kashmir, in wherever place you come from, alhamdulillah. But you know they don't relate too much to those people. They're born here. They eat burgers and hot dogs. They relate more to these people than to the people out there. We never forget our nasab or our asl. We never forget where we come from. Never. This is one of the beautiful things we do. Umar radiallahu anhu, he told us, always know where you come from, your lineage. One of the sunnahs to understand. But what's the problem? We forgot the community around us. And you might say, they're not Muslim. They were not Muslim. You may say, we're Muslim. He's Muslim. Alhamdulillah. And the other problem you have to realize is that it's not up to you. It's not up to us to go around and tell people this guy's kafir, this guy's Muslim. How do you know that Islam reached him? How do you know? You don't know. What if he doesn't know that Islam is this? What if in his heart he believes there's one Allah, but he doesn't know about Islam? He sees it what's on TV, that it's this bad image. And that's it, we have to disregard him because he doesn't pray like we pray. He doesn't give zakah like we give zakah, and he doesn't fast like we fast. He doesn't know. Maybe this man will be entering Jannah before us, Allahu A'lam. We don't know. And it's not up to us to give this type of hukum on somebody. Especially when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not leave us for that judgment. Very, very interesting. So then continue, he says to his people, he says, اتَّبِعُوا مَنْ لَا يَسْأَلُكُمْ أَجْرًا وَهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. Obey those who ask no wages and are rightly guided. He says, وَمَا لِيَ لَا أَعْبُدُ الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ أَتَّخِذُ مِن دُونِهِ آلِهَةً إن يردنا الرحمن بضر لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون. He said, and why should I not worship him who has created me and whom we all shall be returned, whom you shall be returned, and shall I take besides him gods? If the most gracious intends me any harm, their intercession will be of no use to me whatsoever. So obey. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, here he mentions in this ayah, اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا ولا مهتدون وهم مهتدون. He says, obey those who ask you no wages and are rightly guided. You know, Allah put these two conditions. If you look at even the Christians, when they go to Africa, when they go to South America, they open schools, they open hospitals, and they don't ask anything else. And people become Christian. And so if you meet these two conditions, and this applies for your daily lives, brothers and sisters, the people you work with, your family, everyone. If you just, number one, you ask for no monetary gain. And number two, you're preaching something that's not going to benefit you. It's only going to benefit the community and the society as a whole. People believe that. Because they don't look at you like, yeah, he's just trying to get some money from me. Yeah, he's just trying to get me to vote for him for, I don't know, president of this or president of that. No, that's it, just two conditions. And Allah didn't say, also Islam, you have to do that and they'll follow you. Just two conditions. And even business-wise, you can find this and apply it in your business and you'll also be successful. So being somebody who works with the people in your town, recognizing that you should have that love for them. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing us here. And then when He's going to give da'wah to non-Muslims, us as Muslims, how do we talk to non-Muslims? What do we say? You know, one of the hikmah in this ayah, one of the wisdoms in this ayah, is that when he says, وَمَا لِيَ أَعْبُدُ الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ, what is he speaking about? Death? Maut. He's speaking about death. And I don't care what religion you are, if you're Jewish, if you're Christian, if you're atheist, I don't care. Everyone agrees they're going to die. Everyone agrees they're going to die. And so he uses that as a way to be conclusive, that incorporates himself. He says we. He uses not you and me. Oh, you Christians, I know what you believe in. You believe in Jesus, the Son of God. You believe this, you believe that, huh? No. He uses we. Find the commonalities between yourselves. And the other thing is that if you're going to be speaking to a medical doctor about Islam, you should know about some medicine. If you're going to speak about an atheist about Islam, you should know a little bit about what he believes in. So you make the conversation conclusive. Include yourself in that conversation. Don't create a barrier and separate between you and them. And this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now telling us to give da'wah. So first Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if you're a man, you actually love your community and you try to get everyone to become Muslim. Everyone, that's your goal in life. Number two, how do you give the da'wah? This way. And number three, how? You don't ask for any wages. Do it for sabilillah. Do it so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you. Because by Allah, if you ask for wages, wallah, you'll be disappointed. Why? Why do you think you'll be disappointed? Because not only may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala most likely will not accept it, because one of the shurut of your ibadah is al-ikhlas. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of you mixing, yeah, you know, I'm doing 50% for Allah and 50% for the 100,000 they're going to give me. Allah doesn't need it. Keep your 100,000, take it and go. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that. That's in the hadith, that's mentioned. We all know this. And if you want some more proof, go read a book by Dr. Umar al-Ashkar rahimahullah, and it's called Il-Imanu Billah. Go check it to have all the whole thing for you. But you have to understand the beauty of this. And start teaching your children to be more involved with the society around them, but not in the haram. You teach them, don't do this and do that, but do this and recognize that. Unfortunately today, brothers and sisters, we have isolated ourselves. We isolated ourselves. Our children, they go to an Islamic school. From Islamic school, they go home. From home to the masjid. From the masjid to an Islamic dars. From the Islamic dars back home. What society is going to see that Muslims are good people? What society is going to see that Muslims, they don't curse? They don't rip people off. They don't do this. They don't involved in zina. They're not involved in riba. This is the Muslim. They're not involved in pork. They're not involved in alcohol. Wallah, he's an honest man. He doesn't lie. He doesn't swear by Allah unless he's honest. How are they going to find this? How are they going to find this ta'amul? This is not how we live Islam, in a little basement. We all very well aware of the hadith. And when Jibreel he comes down and he's about to destroy the town, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him to destroy the town. He goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he tells him that there's a man that he's worshipping in his home. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, start with him. Because Islam is meant to show people how beautiful it is. It's only us that make it ugly. Like little hiding, like little roaches, we go sneak in the house and then we come out, go fast. This is not the way Islam is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us this is not how to do it. And then the beautiful thing in this ayah, أَأَتَّخِذُوا مِن دُونِهِ آلِهَةً إِن يُرِدْنِ الرَّحْمَنُ بِضُرٍّ لَا تُغْنِ عَنِّي شَفَاعَتُهُم شَيْئًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if, what Habib is saying, that if I take anyone besides him, besides Allah, and they intend me any harm, you think they're going to harm me? Now this is al-yaqeen. You know al-yaqeen? Certainty. You recognize no matter what happens to you, no matter what happens to you, you got fired, alhamdulillah. You got hired, alhamdulillah. No matter what happens to this dunya, it doesn't budge you. You don't move from it. You don't care from it. Hatta the word dunya comes from dana'a. Useless. Worthless and useless. It's in the Arabic itself for those who are very well involved and understand Arabic. You understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you. He named this worldly life a dunya. And if you look at the ones who are not moved by the dunya, Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, one time he was sitting down and he was giving a lecture, and someone came up to him. You know, Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, he was a tajir, he was a merchant, and they came to him, they said, Ya Imam, the big ship that you're expecting, we have bad news. It sunk in the ocean. Abu Hanifa, he paused, and then he continued his dars. The man came back a little while later, and he said, Ya Abu Hanifa, we made a mistake. The ship that sunk, it wasn't your ship, it was someone else's ship. Abu Hanifa, he paused, and he continued with his dars. After he was finished with his dars, they came to him and said, Ya Imam, after we told you this, you paused. Why did you pause? He said, the first time you came to me, I paused, I checked my heart. And that's a lot of money that he lost. I checked my heart and I recognized I didn't care. I didn't care that the ship sunk. So I said, Alhamdulillah, my heart is not tied to the dunya, to the loss of this great man. He said, and the second time you came to me and you told me it wasn't my ship, that rather you got this big wealth. It's like he lost something and then he gained it back. He said, I paused and I checked my heart. And I said, it's not tied by the dunya. I don't care whether I lost it or I gained it. So I wasn't happy that I gained all of this man. He said, and so I said, Alhamdulillah, that my heart is not tied to this dunya. And so you ask yourself, is that the case with us? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. That it may be that you dislike something, but it's good for you. And it may be that you like something, but it's bad for you. And Allah knows, but you do not know. But we're hasty. We're hasty. Anything bad happens to us, that's it. It must be because of this, it must be because of that. You know, a brother, he came to me and he told me he was helping his neighbor, a Christian woman. She's very old, and he was helping her shovel. And while he was helping her shovel, he lost his phone, his iPhone, $300-400. And he went to the house and he came back. He started looking around for his phone. And the lady, she saw him. She said, "What are you looking for?" He said, "I lost my phone." She said, "Wow, always during the good deeds." Allahu Akbar. A Christian woman told him, always during the good deeds. He said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Always when you do something good for someone, something bad happens. It's almost like the devil doesn't want you to do good for people." Allahu Akbar. You see? Where are you going to learn this from? Where are you going to learn this method, this hikmah from? Through experience. And so we should always thank Allah and not be so quick to say, "Oh my God," we always run to make thousands of rak'at and all this, and then after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives it, alhamdulillah, I go back to my 5 fara'id for the day. So anyhow, back to what Habib says. He says, if I do what you tell me, I believe in Jesus is the Son of God and all of this stuff. He says, إِنِّي إِذًا لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ إِنِّي آمَنْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ فَاسْمَعُونَ. He said, then verily I will be in plain error. I would be the one who's wrong. I'm the one who's going to take these things that you think are going to be of any use to me and use them as my God when they can't help me whatsoever. I would be the wrong one. Allahu Akbar. And now this ayah, it's so beautiful. And then we'll take a break. He says, verily I have believed in your Lord. So listen to me. The beautiful thing about the Quran, brothers and sisters, these type of lessons you're not going to learn just on your own. You learn it from an alim, who learned it from an alim, who learned it from an alim, who learned it all the way back to the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That's how ilm is taught. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions, يَخْشَوْنَ الْعُلَمَاء, that the ulama are the ones who fear or who are conscious of Allah. Not necessarily fear, because fear is like a negative conscious of Allah. They recognize, when they say Allah, tears come to their eyes. Because they're mentioning Allah, they know Allah mentioning them in a much better sitting. So this ayah, إِنِّي آمَنْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ فَاسْمَعُونَ, could be taken in two ways. Either He's talking to the Anbiya, or He's talking to His people. Both are correct, no problem. If He's talking to His people, He's telling them what? Listen guys, I've been there and I've done that. I believed in the gods you believed in, and it doesn't do any good. It doesn't help anyone. So فَاسْمَعُوا, He's telling them, so listen to me. But they all came to Him at once. They all came to Him like at one time. That's what Ibn Abbas said, he said about the word فَاسْمَعُون. They all came to Him like now they want to, like ihjum, they want to all bombard Him at one time to try to kill Him and the messengers. Or He's talking to the Anbiya that came. And He's telling them, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Muzammil, that every Nabi, every Rasul, he's going to be the witness, the shaheed on Yawm al-Qiyamah, that they delivered the message. So He's telling them, listen to the Anbiya. I believe in what you believe in. I believe in what you believe in. So they're probably going to kill us now. But just be the witness for me. That on Yawm al-Akhirah, that I believed in the Allah you speak about. Be there and let everyone know on Yawm al-Qiyamah that I accepted the religion of Allah. The Tawheed. Allahu Akbar. And either way you look at it, this man has this much love for his people. And I ask us that we should try to reflect upon this and make us of those people who love our community around us here in New Jersey, in Hackensack, in Bergen County. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وآله وصحبه أجمعين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then says, He says, قِيلَ أَدْخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ قَالَ يَا لَيْتَ قَوْمِي يَعْلَمُونَ. It was said, enter paradise. And He said, with that my people have known. قِيلَ in Arabic, قِيلَ is past. It's the past tense. So how was Habib al-Najjar told to enter Jannah and Yawm al-Qiyamah didn't come yet. Because they killed him. They killed him and they killed the Rusul that came to them. And he became a shaheed. As we know, the shuhada, they skip the grave life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He lets them hang from green birds, and these green birds fly over their area in Jannah. So they're not actually in, but they fly over their area in Jannah, and Allah shows them what's their place going to be. Allahu Akbar. And while he was dying, Qatada, rahimahullah, he said that while he was dying, Allahu Akbar, how much love did Habib have for his people, that even while they were killing him, he was making dua for them. He was saying, "Oh Allah, my people do not know," as it's mentioned in Ibn Kathir, Tafsir Ibn Kathir. "Oh Allah, it's just that my people don't know. Please forgive them." As he's dying, "Oh Allah, they're killing him." All the people, they're killing him, and he's making dua for them. That's how much love he has. Who do you see this also with? The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam in Uhud. In Uhud, in the battle of Uhud, when they shattered his jaw, and he was like in that little area, and he said, "Oh Allah, forgive them, for they do not know." He loved his people. The one who he's fighting against, asking Allah to forgive them because they do not know. We're not like that though. And you wonder why they look at us as us and them as them, instead of us as we. And this is the problem we have, brothers and sisters. We have to change the mentality we think, and we have to be more integrated into this community that we live in. Even Islamically, the community outweighs the rights of the individual. What's needed for the community outweighs the rights of the individual. And then he says, بِمَا غَفَرَ لِي رَبِّي وَجَعَلْنِي مِنَ الْمُكْرَمِينَ. He says that Allah, that my Lord has forgiven me and made me of the honored ones. Allahu Akbar. And you ask about this man, everything he did to lead this type of life. And he's always thanking Allah. You know the other problem we have is we think we're born Muslim. Nobody ever is going to be granted Jannah that way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said even your deeds won't be the thing that enters you into Jannah. It would be the relationship and how much Iman you have. So brothers and sisters, don't ever, any one of us even think, they're not Muslim, I'm Muslim, alhamdulillah, I'm good. You do not know what the sins that you have that will outweigh your good. And you do not know how much khair you can do that will outweigh your sins. So always strive to do good things. And always, rather than complain from Allah, complain to Allah. If something bad is happening in your life, you're getting a divorce, some bad news. One of the interesting things about this ayah is Allah doesn't mention when they killed him. Allah doesn't mention when they killed him, right? Because when he says yasma'un, and then afterwards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says idkhulul jannah, when he tells him enter paradise. What happened in between? This is also another hikmah, brothers and sisters. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is silent about this, it's that He's teaching us not to spread bad news. You know, there might be a brother that he gets married, he has children, a sister, she gets married, she has children, everything's great. We didn't see them for a while. But you know the funny thing is after a few years, if they got a divorce, if somebody got locked up, if there was some bad news about them, everybody knows about it. Everybody knows about it. Why is it that we're an ummah that spreads the bad but not the good? Why? Why do we always say, no, this guy, I'll never believe him in a day of his life, he did this. Why are we always speaking bad? Why can't we be the people who khair comes off of our tongue? Why? This is a disease we have. We want to know everything about everyone just so that we can be happy. Khalas, he's in a worse situation than me. You make yourself feel better that way? That you speak badly about your Muslim sister? About your Muslim brother? And we used to laugh, unfortunately, about the women, that they're like CNN. If you want everyone to know everything, just go tell a woman. She'll go tell the whole community. But Allahu Akbar, I notice that's the men now. I notice that's the men. What's going on? You know why? It's not whether it's the men or it's the women. It's that we have a disconnected relationship from the Quran. If we're continuously understanding what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, then we will filter our mouths and we will reflect that in our actions, bi'idhnillah. And I end with this. Umar, radiallahu anhu, he said about the fitna, about when we're tested and how we should act. He said, any time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would test me, I would thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 4 things. One, that the test was not on my faith, my iman. I didn't lose my Islam or my Iman. He said number 2, that it could have been worse. So he's thinking positively. I lost my job. Oh, okay, alhamdulillah. I could have lost my second job. I could have a death in the family, a freak accident, something like that. So he says, alhamdulillah, it could have been a worse situation. He said number 3, that this fitna that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put on me, it's an expiation from my sins. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is cleansing my bad deeds. He said in number 4, any loss after losing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is no loss. After we lost the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's no loss. Brothers and sisters, this weekend we have a long tafsir of Surah An-Nur. Surah An-Nur. We're going to explain ayah by ayah the different opinions about the hudud. We're going to explain a lot, and a lot of beneficial ilm that will come from it. Many things. Visiting people, about the zina, about how you should, the wandering gaze, about how you should deal with people, about spreading bad rumors, lies, and gossip. For your children, for your family, everybody should attend this lecture, bidnillah. Tonight we have it in Rutgers in Newark, 7:30 p.m. If you see the table in the back, there's a purple table. Go take a flyer and make sure you attend it 7:30 to 10. You bring your family, children, friends. Alhamdulillah, and I'll just tell you this. Last week I was at Al-Ghazali High School. And there was a 10-year-old boy, he walked up to me. I'll never forget his name is Hamza. He came up to me, he said, Bakir, I said, Na'am. He said, you know the class you mentioned? I said, yeah. He said, I'm gonna take that class. He's so small. I said, MashaAllah. I said, how old are you? He said, I'm 10, but I'm gonna be 11. I said, MashaAllah. He said, I'm gonna learn the whole surah with you the weekend. Alhamdulillah, it's not me teaching it, but it's one of our teachers, Sheikh Kamal al-Makki. But this boy, 10 years old, comes up to me and tells me he also skipping Model UN. He has Model UN this weekend. He said, I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna study Tafsir Surah An-Nur with all of you guys. We have students all the way from 10, as inshallah you'll see Hamza, and we have students all the way 65 years old. They didn't stop learning their ilm. Nobody thought they were too good to learn. As Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, he said, مع المحبرة إلى المقبرة, that with the ink all the way to the grave. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He benefits us in this dunya. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala benefit us in the akhirah. Allahumma ahdina fi man hadayt, wa afina fi man afayt, wa tawallana fi man tawallayt. Allahumma allimna bima yanfa'na, wa yanfa'na bima 'allamtana, ya Rabbal Alameen. Allahumma ighfir lana wa liwalidayna. Allahumma ighfir lana wa liwalidayna. Allahumma adkhulna jannat al-firdaus, جمهور العلم من غير حساب من غير عذاب. اللهم اغفر لميتنا ولحينا. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا وتجاوز عن سيئاتنا. آمين يا رب العالمين. وهذه دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. اقيموا الصلاة ويرحمكم الله.